So about 3 years ago, Tenzin Rinpoche invited me and many others into his living room and invited us to join this group called the Three Doors. And he invited me, I think, because not only was I a student of his, and I had, been a wholehearted practitioner, but that in my life, I had the opportunity to work with people as a counselor. And I had begun to use some of the practices or wanted to bring them to my clients. And he had encouraged me to do that, and so I had begun to do that. Well, we've been given many, many practices, and they're really wonderful and powerful for me. But they weren't always available for me to give to someone else because they were complex, or they involved strange words, or they involved connection with a lineage that came from another country. And so this wasn't conducive for some of the people that I was working with who really had a genuine need and desire to get to know themselves on a very, very deep level. And so when we gathered in this group and realized we're going to be focusing on these very, very simple practices of the 9 breathings and the Salung and the warrior syllable practice, which is my favorite practice, and the 5-fold teachings of Tao Jiaozhen, I knew I am in the right place because I love these practices. I have brought them into my life. They have absolutely changed my experience of myself, first of all. I have to say that the whole basis of these practices opens up a space that is so profound and so clear and so vast that I could barely stand it. I had to learn how to mature into it and to accept the experience of myself as it was opening up through these practices. And so that's been happening, happy to say. And I feel that they are ripening my sense of maturity as a person, as a human being. I've always been very youthful, joyful, enthusiastic, but I've always felt, I don't know, when am I going to grow up? When am I going to mature into a full human being? And my intention has always been to really benefit other people and to help them. And so I feel that these practices are the way to do that. They are the way to give me access to my own love, my own joy, my own equanimity. That was the last one to come in. And compassion. And to be able to have that be available spontaneously for anybody that I meet, not just clients. I mean, I usually, when I go out into the world, sometimes I put on like a shield of kind of, I'm just walking through my life and you don't know me and we're on the elevator together or we're not really interacting. And by engaging in these practices, all of those boundaries began to break down and dissolve. So no matter where I am, there I am. And yet I don't feel unsupported. I feel completely supported by these practices to be really fully present for whatever is happening. So I encourage anyone who's interested to jump in. It is very exciting. It's daring. It involves fearlessness. You have to be willing to look at your own disappointments, your own limitations, your own places where you falter and fumble, and be willing to wholeheartedly open and embrace and expand through that door into what is really available to each one of us as human beings. We are truly magnificent, and we know as human beings we're not making that available to ourselves and to others in our life, because we can look at our world and see it's not happening enough at this time. So I feel like this time in particular is the time to engage intimately and directly with your own mind, with all of your capacities. And this is the way I found to do it, and I would like to offer that to others. Also, in the teaching environment, the fact of the matter is these practices are so simple. The teaching is in the doing, and the doing is in the being. And the being is where we meet each other and share. And so everyone that I encounter through teaching is giving me as much as I'm giving them. And it's an environment of transmission. It's very powerful. And so I think if you enter the Three Doors, we make a commitment. It's a 3-year commitment. We create a container that is sacred. We will be offering our practices, our practice experiences to each other and witnessing each other. And there is no way we can't ripen and mature and flower in that atmosphere. So that's how I feel about the Three Doors.